Commissioner Goodell, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Well, thank you, Julia. Glad to be here.
We understand you've been in back-to-back meetings, and also that Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is here. Have you had any talks with him about potentially expanding Amazon's rights beyond the Thursday night games that it owns through the end of the next season?
Well, we have ongoing discussions with all our partners, and obviously so many of them are there here today and over the next couple of days. So yes, we do. We talk about our relationships, how to expand our relationships, how to develop new relationships, because the NFL has never been in a better position. And I believe the content, the live content that the NFL offers is some of the most valuable content in all of television and media.
Now, you had a $130 million two-year deal with Amazon just for those Thursday night games. But now that you're looking at your broadcast deals expiring down the line, what do you think the chances are that some of those big rights go to a streaming player?
Well, Julia, I think those are the things we'll have to work out. I think this next negotiation is going to be fun, more complex. Probably will include additional players, because our whole strategy is to have great reach and to be able to engage our fans. And you have to do that on different platforms. And that's why on Thursday night with our Fox, our linear partner, and the NFL Network, we've also added Amazon and Twitch to be able to reach fans on their platform and in the way they want to do it and the interaction that can be offered on some of these new platforms. So we will look at that very hard, and my guess is while we'll continue to have reach, we'll also have some new opportunities exist in there.
Now, it's been reported that the NFL has until this fall to opt out of your deal with DIRECTV. Can you tell us what the status is of that and whether you've been in talks with other players about potentially expanding those rights, either to other satellite players or cable TV or even streamers?
Well, Julie, I go back again to, we have ongoing discussions. That's not accurate, the report. I'm not going to get into the details, but, we always look at opportunities for which we can expand our relationships with partners and with potential partners. And if there's a way to bring DIRECTV and give them an opportunity to expand the Sunday ticket to other platforms, that's something we're interested in and we're engaged with, as well as looking at other platforms outside of that ecosystem.
There's so many streaming platforms that are represented here and many more launching in the next year. Are you concerned that all these new streaming platforms, even ESPN Plus, not to mention HBO Max, that don't have football, are going to draw eyeballs away from the platforms which do have your rights?
No, because I think what's happened here, if you look at it and you look at the big media players, the predominance is live sports. 91 of the 100 top shows are sports. The vast majority of those, other than a few, are football. And so from our standpoint, we're seeing that sports can aggregate that audience and deliver what those other platforms really want. And we're seeing a lot of interest in seeing how that worked on the linear channels, how it worked on satellite and cable, and how we can use that in the context of some of these new platforms.
Tell us about the status of your collective bargaining agreement. What are the chances that you'll be able to strike a new deal before the start of the season?
Well, that's certainly our intent. Our intent is to make sure we have a collective bargaining agreement that we've been in for 8 years. It's worked very well, mainly for our fans, but also for our players and our clubs. And so we have the structure of a system that works quite well. We're continuing that dialogue. There are obviously changes we all want on both sides, and I think those are things that will improve us and try to make the collective bargaining continue to be successful for all the parties. So I hope we'll do that.
Now, it seems like one of the sticking points is your push to have 18 games. How do you address concerns about player injuries, as well as the question about whether there could be just too much football?
Well, we always talk about how do we restructure our season. What is it the right structure with 16 regular season and 4 preseason games? Should we look at expanding the playoffs? Those are discussions we're having with the Players Association. I think the steps we've made to make our games safer and better have worked tremendously well in collaboration with our players, but also in changing rules and equipment. We had a 30% reduction in concussions last year, and I think we can use that same model to reduce injuries and lower body injuries. So I think the way we've modified in the last collective bargaining agreement was to really work the way to train our players differently and modify our game in such a way as to address those issues.
And tell us what you're doing to take advantage of this wave of legalized gambling in different states, which seems to only be continuing. What's your plan to tap into that, to draw?
Well, we've been preparing for this for several years. As you know, we'll have a franchise starting next year with the Las Vegas Raiders. And, we've also struck new arrangements with Caesars and other entities that I think are going to give us an opportunity to be able to engage our fans more deeply and across different platforms. It certainly will be an opportunity to do that. We are going to do it with all caution towards the integrity of the game and protecting our intellectual property in such a way. But we believe that official data of the NFL, the speed and the quality of that is going to be a key feature, and people will want to partner with us. And again, fans will like it, but we want to ensure that experience for our fans is also protected and make sure the great quality.
And it'll drive ratings, you think?
I clearly believe driving engagement will drive ratings.
Great.